Use the ox and use not.
Hi guys, Drunken here, and basically going to talk about essentially the way you can start up a wargaming community yourself. Now, my experiences basically going to a club and everything is everyone wants to play a certain game, and you're pressured into playing that. In particular, a few don't really want to name it Warhammer, but yeah, everyone wants to play that, and you either join that or you basically, if you want to try something else, it's very difficult to get others involved. So, how do you accommodate this and play something different and get other people involved? Well, the easiest way is to do it yourself, and believe me, it's not as hard as people make it out to as. So first off, pick something you like, whether it be like I have Frostgrave, which I've started from scratch and gotten people into playing. In fact, the group that plays the Age of Sigmar stuff and the 40k are starting to look over my shoulder, because I keep taking some of their players instead, because they enjoy it more, which is fair enough, you know. All is fair in love and war, as they say. But you could play anything, whether it be Flames of War to Gates of Antares to even something like what is it called, Malifaux or something like that, or Infinity. Doesn't matter. The basically what you need to do to start off with is to have two sides of the coin. So when I say that, you need to basically have an army for yourself and an army for a second player. And you basically use this second army to get them involved, because the main thing that people hate is a buy-in. And that's why people buy into Warhammer and fully commit, because it is expensive and it's not something you just want to quit out of. So I recommend getting, if you're going to get like Infinity, get 2 starter kits and borrow some terrain, that sort of thing. Or maybe if you want to do what I did, Frostgrave, you have a little army of guys. You can use the Age Sigmar stuff, doesn't really matter as it says in the rules. And then you can build your bestiary from there. It doesn't matter, but the main thing is you need to include your opponent in deciding what you want to play, because if you just get something for yourself, then more chances are they're going to be like, yeah, sounds really good, yeah, I don't really want to buy anything, because you know, I've got my money already spent on my Warhammer stuff I've got plans for, you know. So the idea is to basically hit them hard and go, wow, you can actually play this game, it's really good fun, because it's just getting their foot in the door to play it. So that's my advice on that. So now, yeah, let's actually move on to something more interesting, I should say. I just really wanted to get that out there to people who wanted to start playing something different other than Warhammer or Magic or something like that, that you need to actually pull your finger out and do something about it, because it ain't going to come to you. So yeah, what are we going to talk about? First off, we got Talisman. Yes, Talisman is coming to a Theatre of Games Workshop to you. So I've actually made a phone call, ring ring. I said to him, is the game a repackage of the previous version? Because what it looks like is they've just done that, but I can't be certain. So if it is, that is awesome. It means I can just buy all these expansions and add it to my game. If not, I'll let you know on this channel. But it's still a good game regardless. It was formerly owned by Games Workshop. There's a video on that I just did a couple of weeks ago, so check that out. So yeah, that looks interesting, and it also looks like WizKids may be involved, I believe, in future expansions if this game takes off. It might even be for something else like terrain. We don't know. In fact, WizKids, this mergy thing, I don't know what's happening. This, you know, lovemaking. Well, I don't know what sort of contribution they're going to do to Games Workshop, because other than maybe rule making, because their miniatures are all Vallejo cast in resin unless they're doing something else. I have no idea. Moving on, Frostgrave, more Frostgrave stuff. So basically, I've stopped my campaign with my fellow comrades because of Christmas. Simple as that. Everyone wants the real life stuff. I'll be starting up this one next year, Thor the Witch Lord, and I'll be also basically focusing my army painting on the bestiary, which is a lot of undead skeletons and stuff. So I have that already prepared for mid to late February, where I anticipate, not locked in yet, the new campaign. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll do some videos on it. I honestly, you can comment on it, but I don't really like doing those like game videos, because it's kind of like weirds me out a bit. Like you see these like really obese people with neck beards, and they're like, yes, we're going to roll the dice and we're going to read the rules, and it's like, I don't really want to watch that. I want to watch like some, you know, hot girl doing the weather, like you know, just silly. You know, I could spend my time playing games or something instead of watching a few sweaty old guys roll some dice. You know, if you like the game, you tell them about it and you take it from there. So yes, what else? I also did the ulterior motives that I started getting. I'm basically doing the Frostgrave stuff at the moment. Building on that, we also have another game from Osprey coming out called, or Osprey if you want, called Oathmark. That's it, Oathmark. But basically, Oathmark is going to shake and be a mover and player, I anticipate, in terms of tabletop wargaming on a larger scale. So basically, there's only a Facebook group at the moment and a few pictures here and there on their web store, and only the goblins and dwarves have got box packages released at the moment, but they're also the similar style and casting as like the Frostgrave stuff, and yeah, the cultists and the barbarians, etc. So what they've said is on their group is it's going to be a campaign style rulebook, similar to Path to Glory, if you like, or Fall of Cadia or something like that, and also that you'll be able to field multiple races in the same army. It even says that, like in the description, elves shoulder to shoulder with goblins. It doesn't say anything about penalties because the rulebook ain't out yet, like I said, but that seems incredibly interesting. And the thing is, if it's like Frostgrave, where you can take any miniature so long as it's sort of a reasonable scale you and your opponent playing at, there's no problem. So I can anticipate seeing a lot of people from Kings of War, for example, and Warhammer using their models for this game, playing it, because they don't need to. They can buy a box of the official stuff, but they don't necessarily need to. They can just get the rulebook and play with their models, and they can use multiple armies to combine to one big faction for a campaign. And that seems extremely interesting and new and innovative, if you like, in the wargaming community. Because the thing is, there's usually a restriction, you know, if you have a certain race, you'll get this penalty, and you're also, you don't really see much of that, and it's new for Osprey to be going on a larger scale like this, because most of their stuff is usually skirmish based, or if it is like historical, they don't really I mean, it's other historicals with large armies, maybe like War of the Roses stuff, or then they've got the skirmish. There's nothing fantasy with large battles, which is interesting. So this is a new play, if you like. So we'll see how that goes, but I recommend you can check out their Facebook. I'll put the linky somewhere around. But yes, also just some news personally. I've sold my Hero Quest game, a board game. Guess how much I got for it? Nearly $400, which is about roughly £250. Yeah, give or take, which is an amazing sale for a board game that's like, you know, ancient. I also sold my Assassin Execution Force, and I also sold my Primaris Marines. The Execution was the whole board game. I never actually opened it. I actually bought it in the UK, so I got free postage to send what I actually wanted back home. So there you go. Yeah, I saw the Primaris because I was really unhappy with the idea of having to buy $50, or I think it's like £30 for a Liberian. I was like, for one figure, that's like, you know, like it's like a single join glue. Where I forget the name. It's like but it's not multi-pose. In other words, it's like your sort of black assault on Black Reach, if you like, Force Commander or something like that. So I was like a bit skeptical, and it was kind of insulting, to be honest, because if you think about it, like I know some people sort of you can. I don't really like saying this, but they go to like a house of ill repute, for example, and it costs about the same as a lump of plastic. And when I think of that, it kind of disgusts me that they sell it for that price. I know some of them are really big and a lot of work and stuff, but it's kind of like, really, like, you know, I don't personally go to those places, but you know, like when you hear about stuff like that, it's a bit, yeah. So yeah, I got out of the Primaris. Goodbye. I'll still keep my orcs. So basically, in a few months, I'm going to be receiving all my orc stuff, all my. When I say a lot of orcs, I'm talking fantasy and 40k, and we're talking a lot, including some really my secret project, if you like. Something unique that you would not see anywhere else. And if you do, tell me, because they deserve. I will send them. I don't know. I will send them a lollipop or something to congratulate them for copying my idea. So anyway, look out for that, because it is something special that you would not find in most cases. Also, I'll have my Devoted of Sigma and my Beastman as well. And I'll have a shed load of other things as well. So yes, basically that's all the news other than Necromunda. What'd you say? Necromunda? Ah! Yeah. To be honest, Necromunda looks interesting, but I'm holding off because I want to bet Scabies. I don't care about all the Goliath and stuff. I actually played the Goliath House full campaign with some friends and that, and the old edition, and had my base and everything. It was really good fun. But I want something different other than the ones that have been announced, and I'm just holding off. I'll probably have my own little war band that I'll bring along to play. So that's an idea. And the Scabies really interest me because they're like the ultimate mutated bumpkins, if you like, with zombies. They got these guys called Scalies, which are like sort of lizard. They got grayscale, you know, if you've watched Game of Thrones, they're like a bit freakish. And they were like highly intoxicated beings and mutants, if you like. So I think the casts of that from Games Workshop will look very nice indeed. Maybe inclined to buy some myself. That's if they don't cost a small fortune. But yes, don't get me wrong, I'm not a tightwad, but you know, I am quite savvy, and I say it how it is. What else? I think that's about it, other than the talisman stuff. Like I said, check out Oathmark, check out Frostgrave, and if you like really have an idea for a video I should do, by all means, ask me any question. So yeah, I just get up to my usual shenanigans, and thanks for watching.